Hey, this is Mark Damon, bass player for The Pretty Reckless, and you're watching ForBassPlayersOnly.com.
Waiting at these crossroads forever and a day.
Hi everyone, John Liebman here. You're watching ForBassPlayersOnly.com. We're coming to you today on location in the tour bus of the Pretty Reckless band with Pretty Reckless bass player Mark Damon. Hey Mark.
Nice to see you again, John.
Good to see you again too. We're in Detroit just outside the Fox Theater today. We did an interview about a year and a half or so ago at the NAMM show.
Yes.
And I was watching that today, as a matter of fact. Very interesting story about your upbringing in New Hampshire. And about you were a trombone player, and something about your brother and the saxophone. I remember all that. And I do remember you said, we're working on a new record with the Pretty Reckless.
Yes.
And I said, you have a title for it? No. And I said, when is it coming out? Do you remember what you said?
When it's ready.
When it's done, you said.
When it's done, yes.
Well, it's ready, it's done, it's out. It came out in the fall, I think, of 2016.
October.
October, yes. Who you selling for?
Absolutely.
Okay. And I was just talking to, just interviewed Ben Phillips, the guitar player, and we were talking about that a little bit. What is your understanding of the title, first of all?
Well, when we were doing this record, obviously you're doing the songs, and the thought on everyone's mind, except besides the band, is what's the title of the record? We're just doing the songs. We don't think about the title. And the more we got into the songs, and the more the titles started coming up, the idea of asking a question for the title intrigued us, because it makes people immediately start thinking. It opens their mind.
But there's no question mark at the end of it.
No, there's not.
Was that a budget thing? You didn't have enough?
I blame the graphic designer. No.
Yeah.
Again, it made you think. You noticed there wasn't a question mark. So again, you're thinking about it. So.
It worked. Whatever you're trying to do, it worked. It worked on me, and I'm sure it worked on all of them as well. You talked last time about how the band formed and how Taylor joined, and how the four of you became a band. Now you've got the third record out. Tell me about the recording process. What was it like in the studio? How do you make a record now compared to how you did it before, or is it always the same process? What's it like in the studio when the band goes in to make a record?
Well, our process has kind of evolved over the last 8 years. With this record, we very much wanted to just go in and do it old school, like a bunch of musicians just playing in the studio, tracking it, pick the best take. That's it. Minimum overdubs, just trying to catch the vibe of the players, of the moments, of the song itself. I think that's lost in a lot of recordings these days, with modern technology making it so easy to cut, paste, line up, adjust pitch, make everything perfect. You lose some of the imperfections which make the records that we love great. The squeak of a fret, or the slight pitch bend of a guitar slightly out of tune, or a slight warble in a vocal, the human element of the recording of music. And we really wanted to get back to that. And since we've all grown together as people and as musicians and as a band together, we really want to kind of capture where we are as a group and where we are artistically as a collective.
I really like that. And when I was talking to Ben, Taylor was sitting here, and I don't know if she was referring to one song or the whole album. She said it was all done in one take.
Most of them were, yeah. The vast majority. I mean, her vocals, most of the time, it was like, well, what's the best vocal? The first one. It's like, she had the vibe on it.
So did you knock the whole album out in an hour? Or?
No, I mean, we recorded a lot of songs. We worked on a lot of songs in this record. At one point, we even thought about maybe putting out a double album, but the songs that came together for this record really kind of seemed to work together as a collective piece of art, as an album. And so we have a lot of songs that are partially finished, or sketches of an idea that we didn't quite finish exploring to fruition. So it was a long time, and there was a lot of preparation to getting those first takes, or second takes. A lot of rehearsals in the studio, getting things, trying out ideas, just working together as a group and as a collective, with each other, as well as with Kato Kandwala, our producer.
Talk to me a little bit about him, because his name comes up a lot in everything that I see and hear and read about the Pretty Reckless. Kato, and how do you pronounce his last name?
Kandwala.
Kandwala.
He really is the fifth member of the band. He's been here since the beginning. Actually, Ben, Jamie, and I have known Kato even before this band. He worked with us on some other projects. He's just a really musical dude, smart, great ears, a master technician on guitar. He calls you on your bullshit immediately, whether you like it or not.
Sure, that doesn't happen very often, right?
I wish it happened less often. I'm working towards that. He just pushes you to be the best you possibly can. In fact, I was talking to this other band that's touring with us on our headline dates, Them Evils. They're working with Kato, and before they went in, I was talking to their bass player, and he asked me if I had any advice. I'm like, dude, what you want to do is you want to sit there with a metronome, and you want to play a bunch of stuff, and you want to record yourself. And every mistake, every tweak, every weird thing, you need to fix it. Because as soon as you go in the studio and you're under that microscope, you may be able to, say, whatever. Kato's not going to let you get away with anything, and nor should he. He needs to push you to be the best you possibly can. So every, pitch bend, every, missed fret, every, slight off from the metronome, he'll notice. His ears are that good, and you need to start training yourself to hear all that.
Well, I guess that's one more reason why your records sound so good.
Hope so.
Let's talk a little bit about your equipment. You touched on that last time in the interview. Bring us up to date about what you're playing: basses, strings, amps, effects, etc.
Well, as always, I'm a Fender guy. The main basses I'm bringing out right now are I just got one of the new American Professional precision basses, and I love my American Standard, and I thought, American Professional, what are they going to change? And as soon as I started playing, I'm like, this feels great. The neck is like a 60s profile. It feels really nice. The frets are these what do they call them? They're a little taller, and they just feel great. Intonation is awesome. It immediately felt right. So that's been a big change for me. Big yet small.
You guys know what is it when the frets are a little taller?
Yeah, they call them.
Just curious if
Yeah.
our crew is not scalloped. No, that's
No. It's just it's like a. At first, I thought it was just a marketing ploy, but they actually, in the description, they said they're a little taller and thinner to help with intonation, and it works. I thought, it's a small little marketing thing, but no, it actually makes a difference. And I swapped out the pickups with DiMarzio. I've used the DiMarzio Model P in my P basses, and I'm also playing a Fender Dimension bass. We play one song that's in a different tuning, so I'm playing that.
You're strictly a 4-string guy?
I am strictly a 4-string guy. Yeah, I have one bass that I've strung BEAD, but I like the spacing of a 4 rather than the 5. And then other than that, I'm playing the Brimstone custom P bass, custom Grand Toro bass, and I also just picked up a D'Angelico the EX semi-hollow body, which has been a real nice bass. Have you tried those yet?
I've tried some of theirs. I'm not sure if I tried that particular one, but it's a good company. I like
really
I like the people too.
Yeah, they've been really great to me, and it's a really nice. It's a Korean-made bass, the EX, but it feels like an American. The craftsmanship is amazing. It's really well done. The pickups are great. Those have been wonderful. Strung. All of my basses are strung with GHS strings.
I was going to ask you that. You're a big fan of GHS, and you have been for a long time.
Yes.
Remind us why that is so.
Well, I actually been working with John Moody over GHS for a number of years.
I like John because he spells his name Jon.
Absolutely, dude. He's got great bow ties. And John and I have been working together for this record and touring cycle. I was trying to change up my sound a little bit. And so I swapped out my round core boomers on my P bass with bright flats to get a little more warmer sound, a little more the Motown vibe to that, while still keeping the edge of the.
Didn't even notice.
The Motown, absolutely. To keep it a little top end still, but with the warmth of the P bass flats, and that's been a really great. Sonic tonal change for me on this one. It's opened some more musical ideas for myself. I'm still using the round core boomers on the Brimstone. It's got great attack, but it's a really refined top end on those, and it has a massive body, and it really projects really well, and they last forever, which has been great. And on the D'Angelico, I'm using the straight up precision flats, which are my favorite flat round strings. It's if you're going for old school thump, it's really
Can't beat it.
You can't beat it, and the more you play them, the better they sound.
James Jamerson did all those
Absolutely.
records right down the street, right there.
We visited that yesterday and got some of the vibe of that happening. That was amazing, being in that room and just thinking about the music that was made, and standing where the Temptations stood to do their vocals, or Diana Ross was like James Jamerson was sitting over there. It was just amazing. Really
Quite a place, yeah.
Yeah,
It
they
is
still got the
mind-blowing.
mojo.
Yeah. The tour, I know you're doing a bunch of stuff in the States, then you're going over to Europe and Germany and all that. That tour's going on for what? Probably a couple of years from start to finish, right?
Hopefully, as long as they keep coming out to see us play. We started in October of last year.
Right when the record came out.
Right when it came out, we headed over to the UK and in Europe and did a couple small shows to kick it off, and came back for a US tour. After this, we had to do some fly-out dates in the States for some festivals in June and July. And then August, we're over to UK and Europe after we do Lollapalooza in Chicago. And then back here to do some US stuff. And then back over UK, Europe, then maybe Australia. Who knows? We're going to go everywhere that, hopefully we can.
Okay, well, part of the reason I asked, if you could possibly see beyond that, what else is in store after the tour? There must be some thoughts about a new record, or you mentioned the list of records. You reminded me of an interview I saw just this morning, as a matter of fact, with Quincy Jones. And he was talking about Michael Jackson's Thriller album.
Yeah.
How many songs are on there? Like 9 or 10 or something like that? You know how many songs they started with that they filtered through?
I'm not sure exactly, but I'm sure it's a ridiculous amount.
900.
Oh, Jesus. Dude, Quincy's the man.
Yeah.
Man. People don't realize how bad that cat is, man. Like from his days, of arranging big band charts back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, the Sinatra Live at the Sands record
Yep.
with all Quincy Jones arrangements. And dude, he's a badass player, man.
Yes, he is. The point, though, there's a lot of songs in the repertoire, so maybe some of them that didn't make it onto this record are going to be on the next one, or maybe some new stuff, or what's up with all that?
One of the great things about being in this band is that Taylor and Ben are such prolific songwriters, and while there are some songs that we'll probably revisit from the last recording session that we left unfinished, those guys are always writing. They're always thinking about art, always thinking about creating. Now, obviously, on the road, there's not a lot of privacy or quiet time to really get into your own head to write, but they're always kind of jotting out ideas or throwing things back and forth against each other, kind of thinking what the ideas are going. So there's always stuff in the works, and we'd like to. The last record we basically toured for two years on it, and it kind of burned us out because we weren't creating something new at the same time. So in this record, we're going to try to maybe get in the studio a little bit sooner than later, maybe between tour legs, to keep things fresh, keep things working, keep things moving, and so we don't have to take another year and a half off from the road to make a whole record and then come back in. So we can kind of keep it more of a flow for everyone, kind of a nice balance of the touring and the writing, the creating, and the playing out live.
Well, great. Well, I'm sure something will come in the next little while. It'll happen when it's done, when it's supposed to.
Yes, exactly. When the music's ready.
That's right. Well, please let us know. We'll share it with all these folks. And congratulations on your success. You said 8 years. I bet it was hard for you to believe it's been 8 years since the.
And that was it's been a while. Yeah. And we knew Taylor even a little bit before that, so it's even been a little bit longer. So it's been a crazy ride.
Yeah. Well, congratulations and keep on riding.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, it's great catching up with you. On the tour bus on the outside the Fox Theater in Detroit with the pretty reckless bass player Mark Damon. I'm John Liebman. You're watching ForBassPlayersOnly.com.